large panel today to cover workforce needs in Forsyth County from across a different spectrum. We've got Lynn Sinnett with the Place of Forsyth. Welcome, Lynn. We
Thank
have
you.
Sam Pratt and Odette Simmons with Georgia Commute Options. And we have Stephanie Ponce with the Department of Labor. Stephanie has asked that any unemployment question you want to ask, just make sure you just throw it at her. All hardball questions nonstop today. But seriously, she is going to cover some important information to make sure our manufacturers know about updates in the Department of Labor and proper reporting, and also some assistance programs that's out there as well for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get started. I'm going to introduce Lynn Sinnett to let her get started on transportation opportunities and workforce opportunities that the Place of Forsyth has to offer.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Lynn Sinnett, Workforce and Education Director at the Place. I've had this role for about 6 years, and through the years, I've helped numerous people get jobs. But because of COVID, things have changed quite a bit. First of all, I'd like to talk about some of the things that I try to do to help people get jobs. Number one, instead of meeting people in person or having in-person job fairs, I've maintained a list of companies hiring. Some of you on this call might be on the list, actually. I send that list out to a distribution of various social service, school social workers, United Way. It's on our, I update it either weekly or every other week, and it's on our website, our workforce page. Recently, I've started small hiring events on Zoom. The last one I did was with Express Pros Staffing. And then coming up, I'm partnering with the Chamber. FOCO works with a multi-company job fair on May 21st from 10 to 12. You know, clients are not wanting jobs right now, which I know it's been really tough. Companies contact me all the time. We need people, we need people. And the folks are not, you know, going for jobs. And we all know, you know, what the reasons are. But I have some kind of like alternative ideas for you all, and you may have already thought of some of these ideas, but I'll just throw them out. Number one, I have recently been teaching job readiness at the Forsyth County Jail with a group of men who are in a very special program. They all have, they're all in jail for drug offenses, and they're in a special program, a substance abuse, very extensive classes almost daily. 3 of the guys have earned their GED in 7 months. And for the past 6 weeks, I've done this job readiness class, and I've gotten to know the guys really, really well. Helped them with teaching them about soft skills and attitude and how to be successful, and helping them with their resumes. And all these guys really, really want to work. They're very anxious to get back into the workforce. They're going to be released this Friday, actually, and they're going to be in a special year-long program with the Sheriff's Department. So they'll be getting drug tests. There's no violence in these guys' background. It's all drug related. They'll be getting drug tests twice a month, and then this year-long program to continue with their work on sobriety. And they're going to be working with the Connection, which is a sobriety group, local group. So they're going to be very absorbed with making sure they stay on the straight and narrow. So these guys would really love to work. So it's looking at possibly, you know, interviewing these guys, and I know they want to work. So that's one program. There's also, you know, shelters like Family Haven and Family Promise. They're mostly single moms that are in these programs. These single moms want to work, and in my experience at the Place, most of my clients are women, and they'd really like an opportunity. They've got a few obstacles. One of the obstacles is affordable childcare. It's very difficult to get the government subsidy called CAPS. You have to be in a priority group in order to get it. And a priority group is grandmothers raising grandchildren, considered homeless or MV, which is not on the street, but like living with others or living in a hotel, or a child with disabilities. It's really, really hard to get a child care subsidy, and child care is very expensive in Forsyth County. So a kind of something to think about is, and perhaps you'd get a tax credit, I don't know. Perhaps you would think about vouchers for childcare, or sponsoring childcare, or partnering with a daycare, or even considering, and this would be, I know this would be a difficult task, but even putting daycare in your businesses. These women definitely want to work, but if they have a child under school age, each child is about, as some of you know with children, it's like $250 a week for childcare. So this is a huge obstacle for women, but they do want to work. They just are in this catch-22. And the other thing is transportation is a barrier for people, because obviously there's no public transportation. So if there could be any innovative programs like vouchers for Uber or Lyft, we at the place often arrange for Uber and Lyft rides for people to work. We can't do it for an extended period of time because it gets expensive. But just thinking about the obstacles that people have to working. And the other reason that people, I think, are hesitating to go back to work and they're getting all these government benefits is that it is more affordable for them not to work. So, thinking about possibly raising rates of pay or giving other incentives to help people get back to work. I know some of the companies that I work with have raised their rate of pay, which is really good, or offered a sign-on bonus or something. So these are some of the things that I see and I think about every day. I mean, ever since I started at the place, the three biggest obstacles for our clients who are in poverty are affordable childcare, transportation, and affordable housing. Those are the biggies. So what I want to do going forward is I try to communicate with my clients as much as possible, or our clients at the place. So we have about 300 families that come for food at the place on a weekly basis. And for example, in promoting the collaborative job fair with FOCO Works, old-fashioned flyers, we put the flyers in the grocery bags in the 300 grocery bags. I put them in the thrift store. Tyson has done a really cool thing. They brought us grocery bags with their flyer on the bags. They actually donated 300 or 400 grocery bags in order for the people to see these, their jobs available at Tyson. So I thought that was pretty cool, actually. And I'm more than willing to do that sort of thing for other companies. And I think eventually people will want to go back to work. Any questions for me? Comments?
So Lynn, I think that was a great job, and I wanted to touch on something that you had mentioned with the child care aspect of it. Our daycares are more than willing to work with employers to help assistance. We just had a new healthcare Encompass Health that just opened up, or will be opening up next month, that they just started the hiring process and training. And they've worked with the two daycares right there on 20 coming into Forsyth, the Kids Are Kids, and I believe it's a Primrose, to work specifically with their employers, to where the daycare is extending hours just to cover the workforce. I don't know about a cost benefit because these jobs weren't requiring it, but they are more than willing to work with employers. So if you would like an introduction to any of the child care facilities, I'm sure Lynn has some connections, but if you reach out to me as well, I'll be more than happy to. And Lynn, I just had another thing. Could you talk about the car program that
Oh,
the
yeah,
place
sorry,
offers as
yes.
well?
So one of the things that we've been doing through the years to help people get transportation is we have a car donation program. So if you donate your car, it doesn't have to be, you know, a perfect car. We make sure it's in working order, et cetera. And of course you get your donation receipt. And we have an application process. So we mostly try to help families, but we also help people, you know, working people who need a car. So if you know anyone, or if you have a car that's older but still running, we would love to take that. And I don't have the number in the top of my head, but we've given away numerous cars through the years to help families be able to go back to work. That's a significant thing. It's actually a more important thing than the Uber and Lyft. So again, if you know folks, or if you have a car that you want to donate, it's very rewarding to see the folks that get it, so they can get back to work. And I forgot one other thing. We have we started an adult training program at the place a couple of months ago. We have 5 positions. It's a 6-month paid full-time program for 5 different positions: reception, retail, custodial facilities, warehouse, inventory. And these 5 different, and we filled 4 of those positions, and they get training in soft skills and hard skills and life skills. And we work with them in their position. We're also teaching all of them computer skills. They're going to learn the whole Microsoft Office, including Excel, forklift training, et cetera. And so that they are really going to be people that will be successful. And once the 6 months is over, they're going to learn exactly how to be a good employee. So that's another thing that we're doing. And the people we have now are just amazing. I mean, they're really wonderful. They've just needed some tweaks and some encouragement. So the first set of trainees will be finished in October. And then the next set will probably be in December. And then I'll be hopefully, I'm going to be reaching out to companies to connect these trainees into the workforce. And I can literally vouch for these people at the end.
That is awesome. Any questions for Lynn? Or we can, if you want to save all the questions for the end, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And we can do a Q&A at the end with all the panelists. But if there's any specific questions for Lynn right quick, if you want to unmute and ask, if not, we can save them all and you can put them in the Q&A at the bottom. Just gonna pause for just a second to see if anyone, and so I'm gonna turn it over to Sam Pratt with Georgia Commute Options. She's gonna tell you about some other incentive options for you to help attract some workforce to come to you that may have gotten used to not driving into work every day or not wanting to sit in the gas pump line for 2 hours like everyone's doing today. So Sam, it's perfect timing. I think you might have hacked the pipeline yourself just to make today a little bit more of an incentive. But so I'm going to turn it to Sam and let her tell you about Georgia Commute.
Good morning, everyone. And that, how convenient, right? No, I remember the last fuel shortage we had back in 2009, and it's not ever easy. I'm going to actually share my screen. I got some information. So let me just get that kicked off. Let me see first. Let's put this in the presentation. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, it looks great.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about our program. And first, I wanted to thank Alex and Forward Forsyth for having us here today. I am very excited to have this forum to present our services and do a little advocating for commute resources. And unfortunately, another timely point in history where commuting is very much top of folks' mind. My name is Sam Pratt, and I'm a worksite advisor for Georgia Commute Options. And I've got a short video that goes into a little bit of the history about our program. Can you hear it?
No, there's no audio, Sam.
There's no audio. Well, there's actually music. So let me see.
Sam, can you click stop share?
How about
for
that?
just a second? And then when you click share again at the very bottom, it'll say there's a little button to click that says optimize for playing the video.
Audio.
Yep.
Yes, got you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is awarded the 1996 Olympic
Sorry.
Games to the city of Atlanta.
Let's try this one final time.
The International Olympic Committee has awarded the 1996 Olympic Games to the city of Atlanta.
All right. So as you saw in that video, we have been around for, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just
Okay,
fine.
perfect. My screen went away. That open video showed that we've been around the Metro Atlanta area for over 25 years now. Many of you may have known us as the Clean Air Campaign or heard about the Commuter Club or Livable Buckhead or Perimeter Connects. We are all connected and our programs are supported by the Atlanta Regional Commission. Our goal is to reduce traffic and improve air quality. By reducing traffic in Metro Atlanta, we work to reduce the number of folks that are commuting to work alone. That's by implementing telework programs, walking and biking to work, carpooling and transit where possible. All our services are free to employers and across the Metro Atlanta area. So if you don't remember anything else about anything I say today, just know that our services are free to any employers in Metro Atlanta and of course in Forsyth County. Definitely give us a call if you've got any commute issues. Our job is to turn this into this. By a combination of walking, biking, remote work, carpool, vanpool, and transit where possible. To do that, Georgia Commute Option partners with employers to address their biggest commute issues. What do some of your work issues look like? What do some of those issues typically look like? Well, have you ever run out of parking spaces at your office? Or are you having issues getting employees to work? Is commute a barrier for your staff? Does your company have sustainability goals to reduce CO2 emissions in your organization? Have you ever had to switch to working from home because of a snowstorm, a gas shortage, or a once in a generation pandemic? If you've answered yes to any of those questions, then we've got resources for you. So what we typically do when we partner with an organization, an employer, is we run through kind of a cycle. It's a very customizable cycle. It starts with collecting information. We partner with typically someone in HR or facilities manager or parking manager to really understand what resources their organization can provide, whether you've got access to bike trail, if you've got access to any sort of van pool or carpool parking spaces that might make that more attractive for folks. We really partner to understand the need and the actual resources that you have available and can have available for your organization. And we work with that dedicated contact to develop a plan. That plan can look very different depending on the issues of the organization. But we also have a dedicated team that works fully to implement that team. We've got commuter engagement leads and a commuter engagement team that works directly with employees to help them with their commute. So if that's trip planning information or on-site info sessions, if you are introducing a carpool program, we've got that covered. And after we've helped with implementing that program, we do stay in contact to constantly make sure it's meeting the needs of the organization and of course the commuters. In addition to the employer services we also offer incentives to employees. By far, our most popular incentive would be our guarantee ride home. So it's a safety net incentive. So if you have a carpool, or if I am carpooling, for example, and let's say I get sick or my carpool buddy has to work overtime, I need to get home. So we've got 4 guarantee ride homes, emergency Uber rides in the event of an unscheduled emergency that offer a safety net for employees that are clean commuting. And those are automatically started over at the beginning of the year. All employees or folks using our program have to do is log their commute daily, and that's a pretty easy thing to do. Another popular incentive is our Gimme 5. It's a incentive that we use to get folks to make the switch. So if you're driving alone and you have been thinking about carpooling for years, we'll give you up to $150 for making that switch. Some benefits of our program, definitely reduction of tardiness. We've got folks carpooling and coming to work together. That typically does reduce tardiness as well as absenteeism. And it can also reduce your parking demand when you have more folks utilizing fewer parking spaces. Folks who have implemented commute programs do see an increase in productivity, and having things like carpools and even some competitive aspects can be added into it depending on the culture of the company, can really work to increase morale. And programs like that, I definitely think, as a predecessor was speaking, talked about different incentives that you can do to make your organization and company look a little more attractive. Well, Georgia Commute Options definitely has some incentives that you can offer to your employees to help with these benefits. And I'm also proud to announce that we are partnering with Scoop and Commute with Enterprise in Forsyth County to offer a more robust commute resource package for folks. Scoop connects coworkers going in the same way through a carpool program. They're very reliable and provide a convenient door-to-door carpool service. They also have other services to help optimize workplace strategies for flex work. And they also have been very, very well received for folks that have been commuting to work, that have mentioned hesitations with commuting to work during COVID. Having a carpool buddy that you have that you share an office with or you work with can definitely be a very good thing when reeling back from a pandemic and having someone to kind of talk to through this situation. And Commute with Enterprise is a van pool program. They offer subsidized van pools through federally funded federal funds as well. They reduce the number of, they have since COVID, reduced the number of people in their passenger vehicles to accommodate for safe social distancing. And they've also been equipping their van pools with cleaning kits and safety information to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. And we've definitely seen an uptick in van pools across the Metro Atlanta compared to state transit. It's starting to become a very viable option for organizations that are having issues with getting their folks to work. And what we have done, we being Scoop and Enterprise, have put together a couple of dates where we can all get together and talk with any persons interested in learning more about our resources or signing up. Again, all of our services are free. And together we kind of complement one another. Georgia Commute Options not only offers the ability to help with planning as an organization, but we can help connect you with Scoop and Enterprise. And we also have a ride matching database for carpoolers, folks looking for a carpool that's got over 20,000 folks that are interested in finding and connecting with a carpool buddy. So getting your organization plugged into our carpool ride matching database, for example, can be another resource that can be more attractive to employees who are looking for a company. And here's my contact information. Again, my name is Sam Pratt. If you've got any questions or interested in attending one of those two sessions, it's going to be Friday, May 21st from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Monday, May 24th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And that's all I've got. If you've got any questions or if you're saving them to the end.
Thank you so much, Sam. I just wanted to encourage everybody to, if you would like to meet with Sam, there's a bunch of opportunities out there, and the more manufacturers or the more companies that we can get to all come in and want to participate in a commute option. It doesn't just have to be your employees commuting with your employees. If we could get companies that are close to each other, it could be very beneficial for everybody. So if you'd like some more information, or you'd like to see what we can do to participate as an entire community, please let us know. We're all trying to figure out the workforce issue, and so the better we work together, the more we can all, what does it say? The rising tide lifts all ships. So let's try and work together a little bit and make that happen. Any questions specifically for Sam, or we can save it all for a Q&A at the end, whichever one best fits. But if you want to unmute and ask a question right now while it's top of mind, please let me know. All right, well, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie Ponce with the Department of Labor and let her talk about, well, workforce and how the Department of Labor can help. And then we'll wrap it all up with a Q&A at the end.
Great. Now, Alex, you're going to share the screen, correct?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Since I'm technically challenged, thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. I'm Stephanie Ponce. I'm the Regional Coordinator for Region 2 with the Business Services Unit, currently on loan to the unemployment insurance side of the business. But we're still doing our job. If you need any sort of data, wage information, anything like that to help you be more competitive, I am happy to supply any of that kind of information for you. All you need to do is just reach out, let me know what positions you're looking for, and we can give you that kind of information along with benefit information that's currently up to date with our region. I do have 2 business services recruiters that work for me, and we are getting daily questions from employers on how to attract workforce. And so we're just going to kind of go through just quickly the COVID-19. I came up with let's build the business together, because with the pandemic, obviously there's been a lot of nuances and changes within our workforce. And we need to overcome the hurdles and the fears. We want to attract and we want to retain the employees. And so I guess the most important thing right now is that you need to show the employees that you care, and you must lead with empathy and compassion. Many of these employees are very concerned about maybe children at home that are compromised, or parents or grandparents. In Forsyth County, we do have a lot of families that live together. So there's very much a concern on that level. So we definitely need to ensure that their health and their safety is the top priority, and needed to communicate. You want to show them that you'll protect them, and keeping all your touch surfaces clean. You give workers access to equipment like gloves, masks, and hand sanitizers. Even though that we're going through all the vaccinations and everything, there's still a concern about maybe cross-contamination, that sort of thing in the workplace and in the plants. So we just definitely want to keep them secure and just make them feel safe. Obviously, there's been a lot. I could speak to this. There's been a lot of weight gain due to COVID-19, and am I excited about that? Oh, heck no. But on the average, there's about 15 pounds that people are gaining because they're sitting at their desk and they're not moving around and that sort of thing. And so it would be interesting, and maybe a nice little Benny, that there was some maybe some gym memberships or health wellness programs that could be added. Embrace remote work. That's a new thing that a lot of companies were not dealing with. Maybe like white collar was used to working from home, but it's a trickle down effect. And there may be some hybrid places or jobs that could be identified within your organization that you can do on-site and off-site. So that's something to think about. And then also with the flex schedules, you want to look at the challenges that your employees may have, and it's probably to the school schedules of virtual learning and commuting for the staff as well. So maybe be a little flexible. If you've got 3 shifts running, it may be helpful to be able to work with those employees to work off hours and maybe one adult will be home and they can go to work and vice versa. So that's something really to consider. The extra space in your facilities to repurpose for childcare. And Lynn alluded to that as well. That is a really big challenge to a lot of families. And Gartner is predicting over the next 2 years that companies that provide childcare will have a 20% retention increase, excuse me, in employees. And that is probably a really good thing, because you know the cost of the revolving door of people coming in and out and what it takes to train those employees. It's a lot of cost value in that. And the US, it's estimated that they're losing over $13 billion in earnings due to productivity and revenue for inadequate child resources. So that's probably something to consider in the near future. And to Alex's point as well, it may not be on your facility, but you may be able to negotiate something with a local childcare facility. And so right now, most employees, what they're looking for is a sense of stability, compassion, and hope. And share your information. A lot of businesses have had their revenue degraded because of the COVID and pandemic. And so make it together as a team effort and what your goals are. Next slide. So these are just some ideas for retention, attraction, and fringe benefits. Companies are getting very, very creative and thinking out of the box. I was going through downtown Cumming, and Tyson, they had a $1,000 sign-up bonus. And you can actually formulate that to your business model with a retention bonus. If they stay there for 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, do it in increments and reward those so that you keep them going. Spiffs, if there's a production schedule that you need to make, put a spiff on it. Money's king, and they would prefer to have gift cards or monetary awards rather than like a big bonus program at the end of the year. It's little increments. So these are just, some ideas. There's quite a bit here, and we can share this presentation with you at the end of the, at the end of the presentation. Next. So what we have is a win-win solution, and we do have a federal bonding program that is actually sponsored by USDOL, and Department of Labor, Georgia actually facilitates that. And to what Lynn was saying, we are looking at other alternatives for workforce. These people who need a second chance make mostly excellent employees. And so this was established in 1966. There is less than a 2% default rate on this bonding program. And this is an incentive program for employers to hire hard to place candidates, and that they may have like, I'm not sure about that candidate, but this is at no cost to the employer or the applicant. And the most important thing is that when you're talking to a client or a potential employee, and on their application, they marked that maybe had like an arrest or whatever, just kind of put that in the back of your mind. And what this bond will do is protects the employers from any kind of stealing, embezzlement, forgery, any larceny. And it's also good for full-time or part-time or people that basically can't get a job. It is effective for 6 months and it can be renewed. But the most important thing you want to keep in mind is while you're talking to this employee, you feel that they need to be bonded, you send them to the Career Center or our coordinator, and fill out the paperwork. They do all the paperwork. There's nothing for the employer to fill out. And then before you give them the start date, then they would get bonded, and then you give them a start date. And so you can see the different eligible groups over there on the left. And so that would pretty much cover anybody that is of legal working age. What it does not cover is self-employed people. These are people that are not currently paying federal tax for their income. And so we really don't have a way of facilitating that. The other thing I do want to mention is that these folks do need to register on Georgia Department of Labor. And so that would actually help facilitate that too. Next. So there's the website. They would gain the federal bonding. Our coordinator is Wayne Mack out of Atlanta. He's a wonderful person to deal with and very knowledgeable about all of the bonding. And so this is 6 months. The bonding can go from an amount of $5,000 up to $20,000, depending what their job is. So just keep that in mind as well. You'll get a confirmation letter, then you'll get a kit. And then once the worker demonstrates job honesty for 6 months, they can be bondable for life under the commercial bonding. Next. We also have the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. This provides tax incentives to businesses who hire and retain these employees. Any size of business will qualify. If you hire a veteran, you get anywhere from $2,400 to $9,600, and non-veterans are from $1,200 in 1 year up to $9,000 over 2 years. And so on the right, you'll see the groups that will qualify for this tax credit. So you want to make sure you're talking to your CFO or your finance person to make sure that you are able to take advantage of these tax credits that are available for you. Some companies don't know about this. Next. So the next thing that we're doing is, and you can probably see what's happening across the country, every state is having challenges with workforce, getting workforce back to work. It's been a huge challenge. The federal programs have been facilitating the extenuation of the workers staying at home. And so the commissioner just announced that we are implementing a work search, which was actually waived during the shelter in place. And so now that is being re-implemented. And he mentioned that it would be instituted in the next couple of months, but we're already seeing a group of claimants that have been required to start their work search. And if they do not, that could impede their UI benefits. And so they are required to make at least 3 contacts a week. They are to interview, they're to register with the employment agencies, they are to attend job fairs, any kind of networking groups, anything like that. Department of Labor will follow up on all of these. And what we need is the employers to partner with us, because you're our eyes and ears as well. And on our website, we've got Report UI Fraud and Abuse. The link is down there, and we'll share that with you as well. But any individual that refuses to come back to work when you have work available, they don't show up for an interview, they maybe then have job abandonment, they come to work one day and then just don't come back to work. We would like you to go on our site, and you can go to the next slide, Alex, on our site. And then one of the 4 on the left will be a radio button that you'll click. It'll take you to a screen. It'll ask you to fill out as much as you can. That will stop any UI claim that they are currently on, and it will force an investigation until it's deemed whether they move forward or not. So it's extremely important to report this because you're our eyes and ears. And so we would just like that kind of partnership with you all. I know I went through that pretty fast. It was a lot of information, but if you have any questions, just let me know.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And again, I just wanted to remind everybody, we put this program together strategically to try and get the workforce needs in Forsyth County addressed and taken care of. And so I would encourage everybody, if you don't already know Sam and Stephanie and Lynn, they've all, I believe, shared their contact information, but if not, if you don't have it, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to provide it. If you're interested in donating a car or working with your local charitable organizations, or trying to find people in Forsyth that actually do want to come to work, just may not have the opportunity to get there, please reach out to me or reach out to Lynn. There's even more programs than we were able to cover today out there. And it doesn't have to be a one or the other opportunity. Lynn could help provide access to some workforce, and then we could bring Sam in and she can find them a way to get to work. If they happen to be a second chance worker, we can bring Stephanie in and we can get it all strategically taken care of. I encourage everybody. We all know that everyone's having issues right now, and the more we work together and the more we take advantage of the programs that are out there, the better it'll be for everybody. Lynn had mentioned that we have a job fair coming up. The place is teamed up with the chamber and FOCO Works. And if you're not familiar with FOCO Works, I believe most everybody on this call is, but it is our new community job board. If you go to focoworks.org, there's an opportunity for, if you just want to post a job to the job board, you can do that as well. But we also have the availability to do live virtual career fairs through the FOCO Works website. And so we will be doing one where we've teamed up with Lynn. She's been great, and I think she's hassled every single one of y'all on the call to get y'all to come and participate. But I encourage you, if you have any availability and you would like to participate live, to either reach out to Lynn or reach out to me, and we'll get you registered for it. There's just a little bit of information that we need from you if you want to participate live. And if you don't want to participate, or you don't have the availability to participate live, I still encourage you to post your job on the job board, so that way it could be out there for the community. The whole goal of the site, it's completely free to everybody. It's just to get people in Forsyth County back to work. So please, I encourage you to take advantage of it. I'm gonna go back to each one of the panelists here in just a second, but I wanted to bring Lynn on just to see if there's anything else that she had to say to close out, or to see if anybody had any specific questions just for her.
Well, I just want to say, if any of you are interested in talking to the men that are getting out soon, to contact me. Again, they're very excited and wanting to work. And I feel like their program that they were in for the last 7 months has really prepared them. By the way, 3 of the guys earned their GED while they were in jail. So just let me know about that. Also, to remind you that if you have a job posting too, you can email me and I'll put it on our website. And if you want me to put flyers in our grocery bags, or if you think you might want a one company in-person at the place on a Saturday when we have a lot of thrift store traffic, I'm very open to that as well. And I also want to say that I've shared all the information from the Department of Labor with the guys in the jail as well. The bonding program, the various documents you have about companies that are willing to hire people that have been incarcerated. So I often use the Department of Labor resources as well.
Lynn, I have a question. This is Stephanie. So the gentlemen that are getting out on
Mhm.
Friday, do they
Uh-huh.
necessarily have to stay in Forsyth County, or can they go to different counties? Because
Yeah.
I've got an employer I've got a call today with, and I would love to talk to you. And I believe they're in Hall County.
I believe, because there's a couple of the guys that do have jobs lined up and family lined up outside of Forsyth County. So I believe it is okay, but just email me and I can find out. I can talk to the deputy or the sergeant in charge and see.
Mhm.
I think it's a possibility.
Okay.
All right. And of course, with all of our Forsyth County employers on the call, if you would like to take advantage of any of Lynn's gentlemen that are getting out of on
I
Friday,
love these guys too, by the way.
please let's
And
forget
sorry about that,
Stephanie,
Alex.
forget Stephanie and her Hall County
I
employees.
know. Well, you know, to your point though, I mean, a lot of employers have a hesitancy, which they really shouldn't. And because they are trying really hard to give themselves a second chance and get back out there. So I hope there's employers here in our county, and I live in Forsyth, so I'm really supportive that we utilize those people that we can, because that's a workforce that is untouched,
Yeah.
that want to go back and have to go back, and they do have to report to their parole officer. So it's extremely important to hire these people.
Two of our
So-
trainees have criminal background having to do with drug offenses. And, you know, I feel like, well, first of all, I like to help people, and I like to help people with barriers. But, you know, just knowing that they have to report twice a month to be drug tested, that's not something we could do at the place. So it really, it's almost safer than having someone that you don't know what their background is. But, you know, working with these guys over the last 6 weeks, it's been really rewarding. And what's been really cool is the deputies that are there watching them. Whenever they escort me in or out, they just talk about how much they care about these guys. And I told the guys, I always kid around with them and say, hey, if there's any time in history to be getting out of jail looking for a job, this is your time, because so many companies need people. So, you know, I know it's a risk, but there are some safety measures in place.
Mhm.
And Tom had a question.
And this is Tom Cook with North Georgia CFOs. We have a client who will need another, I'll call him service technician. Do any of these guys that are getting out, can they repair engines or motors, that sort of thing?
There is a guy, he's an older guy, not as old as me, but an older guy who does have a background as a
You don't look a
mechanic.
day over 31, Lynn, so.
Oh boy, well, thank you. Yeah, so there is a guy that has that. Actually, there's a couple of guys that have that ability.
Okay,
So, yes.
I'll follow up with you on that. Thank you.
Great,
That's enough for now. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Tom, Lynn put her contact information in the chat if you hadn't seen it already.
I Lynn at the place of foresight.org. I think I got
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I got your phone number.
All right. And I wanted to bring Sam back up. She had mentioned in her we had a packed panel, so she kind of had to rush through it. But they do have a boots on the ground opportunity where if you are interested in participating in any sort of ride share option, starting a carpool program, starting a van pool, or anything like that. They will come on the ground. They'll assess your situation at your company and figure out what the best option would be for you. So if you would like to participate in one of those, please either reach out to Sam, reach out to me, and we can schedule it up. Just like I said earlier on, it doesn't have to be just one company. If we all come together and your employees can carpool with employees of a company just right down the street, it could be a benefit for everybody, especially where they can do a map out service and they can figure out where people are commuting from. So that way you may not know, or you may not have mapped it out, but they can help get cars off the street, but two, it's a definite added benefit when people don't have to ride alone into work. So Sam, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or?
No, that was great, but I do want to definitely encourage you to attend one of our 2 info sessions. Those info sessions, we're looking to bring in Scoop and Enterprise so you can ask them direct questions about costs, liability, and any other hurdles that you may have had in before, or information on different industries they might have been working with, because things are really shifting during COVID. So it's helpful to have organizations that have had to keep up with all of the changes and can offer some solutions as things continue to change.
Absolutely. And just to wrap it up with Stephanie, she had mentioned that they had pulled off the reporting on the Department of Labor's website. It is back now. So please, and I know that some of you on the call have had the issue to where, you interview a bunch of people, you offer them a job, and they never show up day one. There's now the way to end this, and we would definitely like to get people off of the unemployment insurance and back into the actual workforce. I know that you guys need them, and it'll help keep inflation at bay, hopefully in the near future. So if you don't already know Stephanie, please, I encourage you to reach out, and please start reporting people that are not showing up, or any issues that you're having on the employment side as well. And also, I know that we have the FOCO Works community job board, but the Department of Labor also has an amazing job board as well that could be a little bit broader. So I encourage you to also post your jobs on Employ Georgia, and turn it over to Stephanie to see if she had anything to.
Thank you, Alex. And Alex has some PDF files for the federal bonding and for the work opportunity tax credit that he'll send out to everyone. So that will give you some information as well. Any questions, feel free to contact me directly, and I can get you to the right person in Atlanta. I do have a question for Sam, because working on the UI side and dealing directly with claimants, we have quite a few that are telling me that they're having transportation problems, that they're losing their cars, they've lost everything. And how do we reach the claimants to let them know that there's this sort of program available? Is there any resources to that, Sam?
Yeah, we do have our website where individual commuters can register and sign up and actually join to look for a carpool match. We have a live chat on our website, and I'll post that as well, that our customer service, it's manned by live folks on our team. They can either chat or call, and if they're looking for specific information on how they can get to work, we do provide trip plans to see if they've got access to getting to work through transit. We can help them with literally get on this bus, get onto this train, and help them navigate our ride matching database, which has over 20,000 folks across Metro Atlanta who are also looking for carpool buddies. So that's how individual commuters can connect directly to us. And I'll make sure to post our website in the chat.
That would be great. Do you have any sort of flyer? I mean, I'd like to send that to Atlanta.
Sure. I'll actually, I believe I've got your email address, Stephanie. I believe I saw it in the chat.
No, Alex will send that out.
I'll be more than happy to connect everybody at the end.
It's long. It's long.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like that flyer too, Sam.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's extremely important to reach grassroots.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to tell everybody else, thank you for participating today. We will actually get to do in person for our Q3 coming up. So that should be fairly exciting. I'm excited about it. And again, I have a feeling that the workforce issue is not going to go away, but we will be doing it. We'll be doing it at the Linear Tech Conference Center. And we will, and the date is still TBD, still lining it up with the speakers. But we're going to partner with Linear Tech on this program, but Many of you may not know that we are leaving the Georgia Mountain Regional Commission and joining the Atlanta Regional Commission. So if you had worked with WorkSource Georgia in the past, we could have a new people to work for through the ARC on the WorkSource Georgia side of things. And so we're going to bring them in to do the programming on the opportunities that WorkSource Georgia has for our manufacturers, training programs and credits that they have for you to take advantage of, to where if you are bringing in people with zero experience, that's perfectly fine. Get them onto the workforce, and then there's some training opportunities and financial benefit if you were to bring these in. So we can partner with Linear Tech and WorkSource to take care of that. And so that's going to be our program to introduce you to the new people. I look forward to finally doing something not virtual and not on the computer screen anymore. But if you're not at that point or you still want to do it, we will be doing a hybrid. So don't feel like you have to come in person if you don't want to. But the feedback I've gotten from a lot of you is that you're tired of computer screens as well. But if you have any questions about it, or if you want to suggest a date or a topic or something that's affecting you guys, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do a connection. And if we need to do more than just a quarterly meeting to bounce ideas off each other, to figure out how we can work together on commuting options, please reach out to me. And I'll be more than happy to get everything set up for you guys. Before I let everyone go, do we have any further questions? And if not, I'm going to turn it to Andrew Shannon, because I saw he unmuted himself to close us out.
Sir, very much appreciate it. Information provided. Appreciate it. Yeah, I finally got the gas. I'm back. So I appreciate everybody. Sorry about my lighting here as well, but very good information. I look forward to that information from Ms. Pratt. And as you said, I really look forward to meeting everybody in person at Lanier next quarter. So thank you, Alex.
Of course. And thank you, everybody. If I will send a follow-up with all of the Georgia Commute, the Department of Labor, and the place resources to everybody as well, along with the recording. So if you know of a manufacturer or a large company that could take benefit from what we discussed today, please feel free to share it with everybody. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing everyone soon.
Pleasure.